Every voice carries a story, every story carries a lesson, and every lesson can become a lifeline. On Voices of Resiliency, we sit down with warriors, healers, leaders, and everyday people who have walked through fire and found a way forward.
All right, we're back with Voices of Resiliency, myself and my co-host, Michael Pellegrino, after the amazing Reverend Law, aka Dominick Stokes. And Michael, what do we say about that episode? I really am kind of going to lean on you for this one.
Well, I don't know if we did much talking in this episode, Kris.
Did
I think
we
that
speak at all?
the Reverend wasn't a loss for words. I don't think we needed to prompt him with any questions. We didn't need to. There was very little follow-up with this one.
It was sort of like a podcast takeover. I felt like, he just kind of came in and his energy was so big and he brought all the props and he was so prepared. We were both kind of like audience members, like just watching.
I think that for the first time, I just sat there and was at a loss for words.
Yeah, I think so too. Actually, at one point felt like I was like, man, I really feel bad. He's just watching like a tennis match between myself and him because I was so intrigued by him, and you already knew his story and stuff. So I'm like, I want to know more about this. I want to know more about this. I want to know more about this. And you're just kind of like, it was amazing, an amazing experience.
It really was a tennis match over my head.
I think we can really say much more about that one.
No, that was
all we can say is that you should have faith and you should have resiliency because of your faith, because that's certainly what he stands for and what he's about. And his light, his energy, and his just everything is so beautiful that if you don't want to be more like that guy, I really don't know what to tell you, because he's about as good as it gets, in my opinion.
He's salt of the earth, Kris, salt of the earth. I've known Dominick now for probably close to 7 years, and just that energy just doesn't stop, and it just radiates a room, whether he's facilitating for us or having a conversation with us or having a Zoom with us, or I just love spending time with that guy, and he just knows how to turn it up.
Boy, does he ever. Let's just talk about too how our first three guests have been just absolutely next level human beings in general. And also, coming up on our next show here, I know this is a person who's very near and dear to your heart, and someone that you have just as much fondness as you have for the Reverend. And she is, I got to be honest, man, she's another one of those people that I'd probably add to my board of directors in my personal life, just because she refuses to take no for an answer. So
she really does. It doesn't
matter.
Ariana Fontenot. She is laser focused and one of the most intelligent biohackers when it comes to physical movement, from motion. And, she will diagnose you even if you don't want to be diagnosed, Kris. I've seen her in crazier spots and wherever we're at, and she could actually diagnose you whether you have something in your back pocket, whether you have something, your shoe's not tied, whatever it is. If there's an ailment, she will tell you exactly how to fix it. And not only is she's just a great human, a great person, but just very, very smart, and just knows how to handle a room, and is just one of these people that I just am in awe about. And it goes to say with all our guests, though.
So what was one thing that stood out most about the conversation? Because obviously you have a history with her, but was there anything that she said in particular? I know it's hard to do because, wow, I got more information in 40 minutes than I've ever gotten in my life. And I've met Reverend Dominick Stokes.
I think when she got our executive producer, and she said that, is there something wrong with your back or something wrong? And she diagnosed him because he didn't tie his shoes. And I was like, oh my God. And he was like, he got called out. He got put on blast.
He felt
I think that was the funniest part of the day.
It was so funny because it wasn't the only thing she called him out on. She also called him out on sitting on his wallet. And I mean, he was back there producing our episode, and he was going, this is all, she's literally calling me out right now. And we didn't know till afterward, but we find out that it was like 3 or 4 things she talked about, all applicable to our executive producer. Shout out to Alex, by the way.
Shout out to Alex. He is the best. He really is. And I can't say enough about him, but he took a beating from her.
He did. He literally left there like whipped. He was like, man, I got to change some stuff. He's like, I mean, from sleeping. So let's talk about Dr. Ariana. So she's going to talk about physical recovery and resilience through movement, which is something that's obviously key because movement is life and everything revolves around movement. And her expertise, she's got authorship. She also gave me a book and signed it for me. And her information knowledge is so practical and so useful that you don't need equipment. You don't need an office. You don't need, she's just going to teach how to adjust the way you live your life already to make it even better. Is that an accurate way to say it?
Yes, that is the best way to say it because she doesn't have an office. She comes to you and she can actually. I think her slogan is she can fix you in one visit, whether it's online or whether it's actually diagnosing you through watching your mannerisms, watching the way you move. And I go back to Alex again, our executive producer, and I'm like, man, he didn't tie his shoes, and she caught him on that. And there was just a lot of things that she actually went to each and every person in the room and said that if you do this, you're gonna, and she actually said, hey, do you have back pain? And he goes, yeah. Or the person said, yeah. And she goes, well, if you just do this, you're gonna fix that back pain. And it was like she fixed it right there, right then and there, without even having any further information, I would say.
No, I would say Dr. Ariana is a terrible business person because all she does is cure and fix people all the time instead of making clients out of them. So, from a business standpoint, she's not
Yeah.
about making people come back multiple times over. She does not believe that pain has to exist in your body. She believes it can all be fixed and there's no excuses and there's nobody who's never been able to have it fixed. And I'm lined up to meet up with her soon. And I can't wait to have her tear me apart because she was telling me that I get out of the car wrong. And I was like, say what? And
Yeah.
I was like, but it makes so much sense. Like where her brain goes and what it does. First of all, she couldn't have an office. She's too big for an office. She has to be moving and she's fixing people as she's going throughout her day. So like she's not trying to charge people. She's just trying to fix everybody. And I think it's the most beautiful and amazing thing to have human beings like that out there. It's pure resiliency, but also teaching people how to become healthier and have a happier body life, every aspect of it, so that the resiliency isn't so complicated.
Yeah, she does. She does change her mindset, and she's just so happy to be around too. When I first met her, she was larger than life, and I'd met her in a place where her and I had a chance to have a quick conversation. And when I said you need to be on our podcast, she's like, "Just tell me when and where, and I'm there." So the type of person that she is she comes from it at an angle where I just want to say it's about the people first. It's not about business. It's not about, trying to upsell you anything. When I went to her book signing and her and I switched books, it was almost like we could finish each other's sentences. And we both talk the same language. And when you are in this field and you could want to and the thing of it is I can say about her is she wants to truly, truly fix people and help people. She doesn't want to see them suffer in anyway. Like you said, terrible business model, but from that perspective, I look at it and say, you know what? She's just an amazing human, and she's never at a loss of words either.
Yeah, no.
She has introduced me to so many people that yeah, I can't wait to have on the show as well too, including my sleep doctor, including a couple other people that that she's going to talk about during the podcast as well too. That she does a lot of physical therapy and does a lot of that for some major sports stars too. So she's well versed out there. She's well known out there, and her story is just amazing. And I can't wait for our listeners to
Tell
hear
us
from
real
her.
quickly what's one thing that she changed about the way that you live that's made a big impact in your life? I know there's like
She
25
has
of them,
changed.
but
Yes. The one that really stands out to me the most, Kris, is sleeping with a pillow between my legs. So now I cannot sleep without a pillow between my legs. And she talks about it in the podcast where you should have about 4 pillows on your bed. You know what I went out and bought this past month? 4
4 pillows.
pillows. So
She
now I
was
have
very
4
happy with
pillows on
me.
my bed.
She was very happy with me because I already had the pillow thing going on. I was like, because she's intense, man. I was like, wow, I'm not doing that
Yeah.
one wrong. I'm not doing that one wrong, but I'm, like she will get you. Sort of like our executive producer.
Yeah. It was funny. I think I was walking down the street one time with her, and we're having a conversation, and she just calls out a guy. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, but we're walking down, and she goes, "Excuse me, do you have back problems?" And he's like, "Well, yeah. Why? Everybody has back problems." And he goes, "Well, she just basically said that the way he walks, because his shoes weren't tied, and because he had a wallet in his back pocket with a Zin in his other back pocket, she actually called him out on all 3 things and said, if you just do this, you're going to fix that back pain." And I was like, wow, I hope we're not fighting here.
Yeah, exactly. Although, I mean, to be fair, for as educated and as intelligent as she is, she really is using the simplest methodology, like, kids' book styles. As a matter of fact, one of her books, I think, is a kid's book. And that's how much she breaks it down. And she's so
Yes, it is.
friendly that it doesn't come across like she's actually correcting you. You actually feel like you want to make her happy. Like I want to do what she wants me to do. I mean, like, I don't know if you felt that way, but I did. I was kind of like, okay, I felt like a kindergartner, I wanted to be like, Dr. Ariana, I have all my pillows.
Yeah. Every time I get the opportunity, I say, I'm doing this, or I'm
Yeah,
doing
see,
that. And
we want to
I'm
make her
so proud
happy.
of her. Yeah, so proud of her. She just got to share the stage with Tony Robbins. Unbelievable. So that's one of my mentors. That's one of the guys that I look up to in the fields that I'm in the speaking fields. But so proud of her for that, and so proud of not only to call her a friend, but what she's doing in the biohacking movement world is absolutely amazing too. So I'm real excited for our listeners to see this show. She is definitely a person who that our listeners need to know.
Yes, I think that might be the understatement of the year. So we'll just go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Ariana Fontenot, you're going to enjoy this episode, no doubt. I don't care who you are. This is something you're going to want to hear. She is resiliency in every aspect and every minute of every day. So here you go.
That's
Every voice carries a story, every story carries a lesson, and every lesson can become a lifeline. On Voices of Resiliency, we sit down with warriors, healers, leaders, and everyday people who have walked through fire and found a way.